Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chawanne Burns. Please click that like button and that subscribe button. Thank you for tuning in. I am going live to answer some frequently asked questions or just some general questions that you may have for the SBA EIDL program. As you all know, we are no longer receiving any grant money unless you applied prior to July the 11th. Congress is right now in talks to renew some money or replenish that portion of the bill to add an additional, I think it was like $80 billion. So Senator Rosen from Nevada, she's put that bill together for everybody. So if you have any questions about your loan, the loan process, just shoot them in the comment section. Hey, Stay, Shine, and Q, how are you? Thank you for joining. Also, you guys, I just uploaded a video in regards to my reconsideration process. I received an email from a SBA representative, and it was probably partly because I was bugging the heck out of my senator and my congressman. So if you been in those stuck, I think some YouTubers are calling it vortex, where you applied months ago, I would suggest that you send an email to your state rep, your congressman, your senator. Hey, email them, tell them what's going on. If you don't get a response, even call them. It took me several times or several attempts until I got a phone call back from the congressman in my area, and I had to fill out a disclosure form or release form to let them act as a representative for me. And like a week later, I received an email from the SBA. Dedrick Baker, why do people that call back child support is getting treated like second-class citizens? Derek, I don't know, because, to me, child support is for a reason, but, it's a biased system when it comes from child support. If you're behind a few payments, you really don't get any say. You could even go to jail for being behind child support payments. I don't know. I don't know. I know there are some deadbeat dads, and there's some guys that's out there that's trying to do their best, but I don't think going to jail is beneficial. I mean, you can't, or ruin a person's credit. I mean, sometimes if you even apply for a job and they pull your credit. I remember when I was working in the engineering field, they pulled my credit because that's a part of your character. So I don't know why they treat you like second-class citizens, but they are not supposed to be putting that against you. So Dedrick, if you getting denied because of child support payments, you need to see if you could get a letter from the judge and even the mom saying you're paying as agreed and you're fulfilling your agreement. Stay Shining Q, what is your take on UBI? I don't know what that is. Is that UBI? I'm not for sure what that is. Stay Shining. I don't know. I'm not good with acronyms. UBI. I'm not good with acronyms. So just put it in the comment section. What do you mean by that? Kiwi again said she called her state rep and she hasn't received nothing. Keep on calling them. And sometimes you have to go online. There's a and where do you live at, Kivia? Yeah, let me know where you live at. Oh, universal basic income. Um, I think that's similar to what Canada has, I think, right? I mean, I think it's a good thing. I'm not for sure. I didn't read into it, but what is from what I heard about it is, I mean, you got low wage workers. Some people can't live off of what they make. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You work 40 hours a week and you still can't live off with that. And the pay hasn't increased just as the same rate as inflation. Okay. So yeah, drop in your economic injury disaster loan questions. You guys know that there is a lot of money for left over in the disaster loan if you have a business. Right now, they're talking about re-upping the funding. For the stimulus bill, hey, if you wasn't able to take advantage of, I don't know. I hear there's a lot of people that hasn't received the first stimulus check. So that's a little baffling that you haven't received it unless you made too much money. Brian B. Miss Burns, first of all, we appreciate you and your channel. Are they still issuing advances? Applied in April, received nothing but emails saying it's processing. Brian, I encourage you to call them. Have you called them and asked them? Because you're entitled. You applied way before literally everybody else that got these advances. So what they were saying is the people that applied before July the 1st, they said the funding is ran out, but not for the people. They already allocated the funding. So if you already applied in April and they still are processing your application, you should still receive your advance. And this is even if you are denied for the loan. So, hey, if you were denied for the loan, you should still receive an advance, unless they're saying you can't receive an advance because they can't confirm your information. They can't verify that you are self-employed or an actual business. So those are the reasons why you won't receive anything. But if they are able to confirm your identity and your business and your self-employment and all that good stuff, if you apply for July the 11th and you haven't received the grant, you are entitled to a grant and they still should have funding allocated to you. So yeah, Brian, call them. And if you're not getting the right answer, I suggest calling the oversight committee and leave a message. And they'll call you back, because I had someone call me back from the oversight committee. And they'll tell you what email you need to send your letter to. Your state rep and your oversight committee. And just tell them, hey, I applied in April. Where's my money at? You know? So yeah, call them and let them know. Mothers 100. It sounds like you were denied because you didn't check the advance. Actually, if you apply for before the July the 11th, that box is automatically checked. Now, you know, you guys, in April, they just changed this application. When they changed the application, after, you know how they took the application down and they made it for agriculture people, and then the Senate, after the Senate hearing, they gave them hell about it. They opened up the application back up to, you know, the normal businesses and sole proprietors. That box wasn't there when you were applying in April. That box wasn't there. they just put that box there after that agricultural. Because I have 2 separate videos walking through the application. In that first video that I made a long time ago, it didn't have that box on there. So yeah, Mothers 100, depending on when you applied. If you applied before, I think it was June 10th or something, when they opened the application back up to, you know, the normal people. If you applied before then, that box may not have been there. So I would call SBA and see what's up with your application. And if they told you you didn't check the box, tell them it was a mistake. I mean, what are they going to do? Tell you no? You know, I mean, rightfully so. Why would you want not to receive a grant, you know? And people, they are deducting your grant amount. Like if you received a loan for 10,000 and you received a grant for 3,000, they'll deduct that amount. So your loan will be for $7,000. Mothers 100, she said the box was there. Okay. Margit Samra, if someone have a work permit, are you asking, can they get an SBA loan? I'm not for sure. I think you have to be a citizen for a SBA loan. Brian Davison, he responded, Jovita Carranza has made a big mess of the SBA. Actually, it's really disheartening the way the SBA is being ran. And it's scary because it's scary. You got to forgive me. My kid is acting crazy. It's scary because, you know, this is our livelihood. And I've been down since March the 13th. I mean, I made a couple of sales in June, a few sales in June, nothing in July as of yet, because I do mostly commercial stuff. But it's just been crazy. You know, people are scared for you to come in their house, and it's just crazy. And when you don't have money and you owe a bunch of bills, it's really ridiculous. I did have a question on my my Instagram page. They were asking me, this person was asking me about getting the loan if they did not have any gross revenues prior to March. So they formed a business in 2018, but they haven't had anything, nothing. I guess they haven't sold anything. They're still, you know, forming a business, basically. They spend a lot of money on developing product and stuff. So they were saying that, oh, I can't get the grant and or the loan. No, you can't, because you're basically a startup. You know, so if you wasn't in operation prior to March of 2020, yeah, you're not going to get any help, because look, the program is called Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Okay, it's if you had economic injury. Economic injury is not, oh, I was forming my business, but you was shelling money out. You wasn't making any money. You were still, you know, forming your business. So the program is just as what it says, is an economic injury for people that were actually in business prior to the coronavirus. I had another question that was, I thought it was kind of interesting. Some people are applying, I believe it was for the PPP, and they're sole proprietors or self-employed. I know some of the vendors, and you guys, let me know in the comment section, have you applied for the PPP and as a self-employed person and they denied you? And you had proof that you were receiving cash payments? Because I thought that was kind of interesting, because I applied for a PPP for one of my business, and they denied me, saying it was they couldn't verify my information. They wanted me to reapply, and I was like, I ain't about to do all that. Anyway, so let's on here. Any more questions, you guys? Shoot me your questions. You know, so Brian, I think you sent me this for Jackie Rosen. The link about the bill that she's trying to push through. It's saying that they're gonna do, I said $80 billion. That's what I thought it was, but it's $180 billion for the economic injury disaster loan. And it's for the loan and the advance. It's requiring the SBA to provide $10,000 advance grants to all eligible small business, regardless the size, as intended in the original CARES Act. So yeah, they're trying to push this through. I think this is a bipartisan bill. They have support for this. Only thing, you know, that I would say, because I know the Republicans, they had a luncheon yesterday, and they're thinking that, oh, we're spending too much money, and then the Democrats, they want to spend more money, and it's like they're not, they can't even agree. But you know, next month it might be the Democrats not agreeing with each other. So I don't know if this is going to get pushed through. If they shut down the country again, maybe. But they have so much money funded in the EIDL loan program that's left over, because they're not approving anybody. You know, my last video, they have $210 billion left in this fund for the loans. So I'm not for sure if this will, you know, pass or not. But it looks like they have some support for it. Sonia 1226. I had to do a reconsideration because the person that did my loan put the wrong employee count in the wrong email address. Still waiting. I'm curious, Sonia, what was the employee count, and where are you from? Chicago? Only reason why I'm laughing, because that there's an article out in the Washington Post. I think they posted it on last Friday or something like that, saying that they were flagging applications. They were saying, oh, we own a hair shop, a nail salon, or a repair body shop, and we have 10 employees and all these, and then the addresses were going to these apartment buildings in Chicago. It's like, okay, business addresses to the same apartment complex, and all of you guys have 10 employees. Okay, and that was like super red flag. And so right now, SBA, actually Jovita Carranza, she's under fire because of all those applications got pushed through. Anyway, so yeah, sometimes when your application is messed up, it takes a little bit longer, you know? And I'm wondering what email address did they use? I mean, how did they get that mixed up? Oh, so she put 11 and it's supposed to be 1. Gig worker. Okay, okay. Oh yeah, I don't blame you. So Sonia, 1226, she lives in Georgia, and she put 11, supposed to been 1, and she's a gig worker. And no, I don't play with the feds because girl, they gonna want their money. You cannot pay with the federal government. I don't know if you guys seen that last video I had when I told you I get audited like every 3 years. And since I've been with my husband, we got audited together. It was like twice because we've been married for 9 years, but well, going on 9 years. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. And they want their money. So yeah, I don't play with the feds. Todd Jackson, I own a home with bad credit. What's my option? Todd, you gotta the what is it? The one thing you must do, you gotta pull your credit report. Go to NAV.com. See how bad your credit is. You know, I have one video out and it talks about nothing but credit with the SBA EIDL process. And believe it or not, I mean, unless your stuff is like brand new and not because of the disaster, they're not supposed to hold that against you. You should be able to get some type of funding, you know? So yeah, look at that video. Let me see if I can link it in the chat section. That, I mean, SBA, I guess they're, inundated with applications and they don't have enough people. So I'm thinking like they're just skimming through approve, skimming through deny, that kind of thing. Or maybe they're not even looking at your credit report. They're just looking at the score. But they shouldn't do that, you know? They should be processing your application. They shouldn't put everyone in one bucket. They're supposed to be looking at you as an individual. In this video, I am really talking in detail about the standard operating procedures of SBA when they're processing your loan application. And if they're denying you for child support, or hey, you have bankruptcy or medical bills, they're totally not supposed to deny you. They said it's not an adverse credit history. But any other type of loan or discrepancies or delinquencies on your credit report, they should be asking you for some information. And if your credit has went sour since the disaster, they definitely shouldn't hold it against you, because that's the whole purpose of this loan, is to give me some disaster relief funding. Okay. Let me see videos. So yeah, look at that video. I'm linking it into the comment section. Yeah. So Abraham Sani, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. He says, I'm a self-employed driving a taxi and have an S corporation. If I spent my idle money advance I received on car payments and gas for my taxi, is that considered forgivable? Yes, sir, it is. Because that's how you make your money, by driving people around. KT, the press. I'm still processing since last time. Oh, I remember you, KT. Applied on 7/12, got the portal on 7/13, confirmed amount, verified ID, electronic disbursement. Haven't heard anything yet. Yeah, you know what? It's no rhyme to reason. I hear some people receive funding like in 48 hours, then other people it takes about 2 weeks to get. The 13th is pretty long though. You might want to call him, KT. And now that I'm thinking about it, when my husband, he received the loan portal and confirmed the amount. They haven't said anything to him either. So, okay. So let's see. Yeah, put your questions in the comments section. And I'm sharing this link with you about the credit video. And so if you guys are wondering about your credit, like I said, I go in detail about the credit. And it's written from their standard operating procedures. It's not like I made something up. In that video, in the description section, they are in my description section. The standard operating procedures is linked in there. Okay. So I mean, KT, you're approved. KT is saying they pulled. I hope you don't mind. I'm calling you KT. They pulled my credit also. I've got a 732. Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have offered you the loan. Most of the time, they're probably just going over your paperwork. I don't know if they offered you above the 25,000. If it's above 25,000, you need a personal guarantor on the loan. But if it's not, you just sign the paperwork and go about your day. And as long as your documents and stuff is lined up, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. It's just, they just moving slow. And if it gets too long, just reach out to your state rep to see if they could find something for you. Let me see if I got a number on here. No, I thought I had a link to